My name's Everett, and I'm going to take a minute today to talk to you about the importance of brotherhood. Recently, I got an email from a young man who said that he was struggling with pornography, that he had been for years, and that he had tried everything in his life to get rid of this issue. And then at the bottom of his email, he said, "I'm really embarrassed because you're the first person I've told that I have this issue." And I thought to myself as I read that line, then you clearly haven't tried everything, because speaking to somebody about this problem and having accountability in your life is one of the first things that I would recommend to anyone struggling with the issues of lust and pornography. In fact, you could say that it's an absolutely necessary step in the Christian life, that Jesus calls us into community with one another for the very purpose that our brothers and our sisters make us holier by nature of our relationships with them. There's a story in the scriptures of a paralyzed man. It's the story of the healing of the paralytic. It's in Mark chapter 2. And in that story, Jesus is in a town and he's speaking in a house, and a crowd forms in the house, so much so that people can't get into the house. And this paralyzed man was brought by four of his friends on a stretcher to the house. And they couldn't get into the house, so the four men actually brought him up to the top of the house, to the roof, and lowered him down to Jesus, where Jesus subsequently forgave his sins and then healed him. And what sometimes gets lost in this miracle story is that paralytic could not have gotten to Jesus for healing if it weren't for his four friends, who were determined to get him to Jesus for healing. And so frequently I ask guys in their life when they're struggling with issues of any vice, but particularly issues of pornography and masturbation and lust, say, okay, who are your brothers? Who are your four that are going to carry you? Because you are paralyzed in your life. And if they can't name four people carrying them on, I'm like, okay, let's drop the issue of pornography for a moment here and actually talk about your lack of brotherhood in your life. Who's holding you accountable? Who's calling you on to virtue in your life, to grow in habits of doing good, to make you into the person you're called to become? There in the advice that you read today as part of this program, you would have seen in there that there were some recommendations given, like go to Focus or your campus ministry or your youth ministry or your church men's group, whatever the case may be. Some other things I'd recommend, if you are like, I don't have any of those resources or assets in my life, okay, go to your priest. Ask your priest, first confess your sins, bring what's in the darkness out into the light and receive grace and forgiveness. And then two, say, hey, I need someone to hold me accountable. If it's not going to be you, can you please introduce me to someone? That's a starting point. Like, you need brotherhood and friendship in your life. It is a place where we find healing and accountability. Other places I'd recommend to find somebody who can hold you accountable, your father or a father figure in your life. And if you don't have any of those, then I would say let's start by just praying that God puts men into your life that can be friends and hold you accountable. One place I would not recommend finding a brother in your life is your wife or your girlfriend or your fiance. She is called to be your beloved, not your brother. And so you need brothers in your life that can hold you accountable, that can be your accountability partner, that can be watching the passwords of your filter, that can be meeting with you regularly and checking in with you. It's in that brotherhood that you're going to find the next step in your journey towards freedom. So I pray that you find these brothers in your life, and if you haven't done so already, make a commitment today to seek out that brotherhood. We'll be praying for you, and I pray that you find the freedom that you are looking for in your life.